video walk and an XLR boost. Back gate, super simple to lower and raise. Both sides lift it up. Lift these up, turn them around. Same on both sides. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go open. But spring assisted makes it easy to go up and down. Stabilizer jacks in all four corners. There's a crank, but you can use a 3/4 inch socket to run them down. Access to your fill nozzle. Just unlock it with the keys you'll be given. And it's like a traditional gas pump. And then you just turn it on and off from here. So you just turn the pump on and off from that switch right there. And then you fill the onboard tank through here. 30 amp short cord. It's your short cord, you can see. It's about 25-30 feet long. It twists right here for extra locking in case someone trips over it. It's not going to unplug it. Right below that, get your sewer, your dump area. So you got your black tank, that one, and your gray tank is that one. Before you take that cap off right there, I always recommend making sure, extra sure that those two valves are closed all the way. Unless you're gonna get a mat, get covered in stuff you don't want to get covered in. And then I always recommend dumping your black first once that's all the way empty, dumping your gray, and that'll kind of flush out your sewer hose. Your sewer hose you can store right in there. There's a tube for it right there. Cable and satellite hookup. So if your part provides cable, you can hook it up through this one. If it provides satellite, you can hook it up through that one. Well, they won't provide satellite, but if you have a portable satellite, you can hook it up through here. And we will go around to the other side of the slide out. I'll show you stuff as we go around. You are pre-wired for a backup camera. You do not have the backup camera, but if you choose to purchase it, it just replaces that. It pulls power from your marker lights. So your running lights on your truck would have to be on. And the kit comes with the camera and then the screen that goes into your truck. We'll get to all of this stuff once we get back around. There we go, other side of the slide. These are your rails for your slide out mechanism. So I do make a dry lube that you spray on those. It's meant for the slide out, so you would spray on all four sides of both rails to keep those nice and lubricated. You're all set up to have a generator, although this one does not have one in it. Looks like the hose from the previous owner. We can leave that in if you like. But it's set up to get a generator. If you choose to have us install one, it would go right in there. Black tank flush right there. That's where you're going to hook up a hose to. If you're dumping your black tank, there's a little nozzle in there that'll spray everything out. Outdoor shower, hot and cold. You can have it set up here like that. For kids, or if you got pets you need to spray them down, that works really well for that. Moving over. Freshwater fill, stick your hose in here. It's going to fill your onboard fresh tank. Once you start seeing water squirt out of here or from around the hose, you know you're full. You can also monitor its progress from the inside monitoring panel. And your drain for that is, you can see it. Let's see if we can't get to it. Gotta get low. Right there. It's going to be the drain for the onboard tank. And I always recommend draining it after every use. You don't want water sitting in there, it'll get stagnant. And then next to that is your city water connection. More likely than not, if you've got the site with water, that's where you're going to hook your hose up to. It operates off of city water pressure, so there's no need to run your hose. Pull that, a lot of good information. It's got your cargo carrying capacity there. A lot of good information. Tire pressure, so 65 psi. Don't read what your tires say, go off of this. And then tire size if you need to order new tires. And then more information there. Your VIN. That's going to be good to know for insurance purposes. Power tongue jack with a little light on it. And then up, raise and lower. So you're going to use your power tongue jack if you want to get it level. You use your tongue jack to get it level front to back. And then if you want it side to side, you have to back it in when you're backing in onto some blocks, depending on which side is lower. And then you would run your stabilizer jacks down, like I said, all 4 corners, to get some of the shake out of it. And I definitely recommend, if it's loose gravel or dirt, to put a pad underneath those jacks so they don't sink into the dirt. Right there, your battery. There's a battery disconnect inside, so if it's going to be a couple weeks between trips, you can disconnect that battery. That's going to keep anything from pulling voltage. However, if you disconnect your battery and you have it plugged in to charge it, it won't charge because obviously you've disconnected your battery. In the winter, I definitely recommend taking your battery completely out, storing it somewhere warmer, maybe your garage or your basement. Here, opening that up, it's a manual backup for your tongue jack. In case the battery would have died or lose power or something were to fail, you can still raise and lower your tongue jack. Propane cover comes off, but you can access it from the top here. Got your regulator with the switch over, so wherever that's pointing, it's going to pull from that tank first. If you were to have both tanks on, once this one's empty, there's a little diaphragm that'll open up. It'll switch to pulling from this tank. However, this won't move, indicating it has done such. I always recommend having one on, leave the other off. So if you're cooking or you're running your furnace and you notice it just shuts off because your gas is off, you run out of gas, then I'll come out here, turn this one off, turn that one on, and then switch it over. That way I have in the back of my head that tank is empty. Chains, cross them. You got your breakaway right here. That'll get hooked up with everything. There's a little box in there. Kind of hard to see, but it'll pull the pin out of the box and activate the brakes on the trailer if for some reason your hitch work were to come undone when you're towing it. Pre-equipped, pre-set up for solar, so you have to buy the other parts of it, but it's wired from the camper on, and that's just to trickle charge your battery. So you'd buy like the solar panel kit, which comes with the panels and all the stuff you need to plug into here, and that'll keep your batteries trickle charged. Storage. You got some table, you got the crank for the stabilizer jacks, and you got your backup crank for the tongue jack. It's that little one. Get some extra stuff in there. There you go. Plenty of storage in there. Your awning, that's what it looks like all the way out. When you do run your awning out, it does not automatically stop. You have to let go of the button when it's out. It'll look just like that when it's all the way out. It is adjustable. Grab these, you can pull them down like that. Have water pitch off to one end. That way it's not just a big line of water in front of it. However, if it starts getting really windy, really stormy, roll your awning up. And if you roll it in wet, as soon as it gets sunny and dry out, roll it back out. Let the fabric dry out. Water heater, super simple to use. So you got your anode rod in there. So this is used, but this is a used unit, but this anode rod is still good. When you have about 75% of this material on the outside, you can kind of see the rod in the middle. We have 75% of that missing. It's time to get a new anode rod. So this is at about 25%. So you still have some good use out of that. That's also your plug. So you put that in that hole, tighten it up. I get it started by hand, and then I use a socket. It's an 1 1/16 socket I use a little extension with a ratcheting wrench to snug it up. Don't over tighten it, else you won't be able to get it out. Right there you have your switch for electric. So turn it on outside to run it on electric. The switch on the inside is for propane. If you are going to run electric, make sure there is water in your tank, else you're going to burn out the heating element. Now, just like your fresh tank, after every trip I recommend draining your water heater. You don't want the water to sit in there. So before you take this out to drain it, you crack your pressure relief open like that. Water will come out. Once the water stops coming out, you can snap it closed, then you can pull that out. If you neglect to do that first, you're going to get a bath, and especially a hot one, especially if you've been running it. Other than that, just make sure And here's clean, and then the burn chamber up in there is clean too. So we can't do this one-handed. A little difficult to do one-handed. Exhaust for your furnace, just keep it clean in here and in here. They do make screens for these. They don't recommend you run them with the screen on, but as far as like storage, that's going to keep insects from building nests in them. Outdoor power, it's GFCI protected. All your GFCI outlets are on the same circuit, so if one were to trip, you're all going to trip. And then you have cable and satellite and cable hookups outside for TV, because there's a mount up here, so you get the other half of the mount, which I think might be this TV. We don't know. I don't know. We'll see. You can take it out here, hook it up there, make all your connections, and then you can watch TV outside. Right above that is your flap for your vent, range vent. Make sure it's open when you are using it. That will also has no. It's not going to go anywhere. All the fumes and exhaust not going anywhere. When you're traveling, it's good to close it. You will need a step ladder if you're any shorter or as tall as I am to reach it. Fridge vent. One thing you guys will have to do is make sure it stays clean and up in here, just so the fridge gets good airflow. You can even, if you want, pop this off and clean back there. That concludes your exterior tour of your XLR boost. We'll head inside and we'll go straight to the back and work our way up. Now this back's going to be a little hard to demonstrate one-handed and by myself, but once that gate is open, there's cables, so it can sit like a patio. All you have to do is unhook the pins right here to use it as a ramp to get any vehicles in or out of here, and then that gate unfolds out and then it latches to here, to there, and there. And then you have a nice little fenced-in patio. Here's your controls for your bed lift. So it doesn't lift the bed, it lifts the couch. You can see the couch goes up, it goes down, and up. To have this spread apart as a couch, you pull these pins on both sides. See that one and this one? Then you lift the entire couch up. It'll swing up this way like that. Both ones will go up like that. Then you push them in and then it gets locked into place, and then this hole will be positioned where this pin is, and then you repin it through the hole. So then you have a nice platform to use. And if you want them to be, when they're out as a platform, as a couch, you pull these out, and then this will fold up like that, like a couch. You can imagine how that's going to sit. And then both sides, that's going to have a little leg you can pull out like this. It'll fold up. It'll act as a leg. And this portion right here will have one too. You can kind of see back in there. So if you're going to have it both set as a large platform, as like another sleeping area, you want to make sure you have all the legs folded down, so it's making contact with the ground, so it's a nice solid surface. But this is how I would recommend having it if you're going to put like a golf cart or some motorcycles in there. When it is folded out as a platform, you can raise it all the way up tight with a bed, but then you lose about like 6-8 inches of headroom in there. When you want to lower your bed, you'd have this set into the platform mode, as I was explaining to you. You raise it up. It's going to make contact with the bed right here, you can see. And in all four corners you have these pins, so don't lose those. You pull those pins out, in all four corners, you pull them out. And then as you lower your couch again, your bed's going to come with it. And then your bed will stop right about here-ish, and then your couch will continue to go. You have the light switch. This one is the main one for in here. The other one is an outside light. You have GFCI outlet there, and there. So if all those would have tripped, if one of those would trip, they're all going to trip, and I'll show you where you reset them. TV backer in here. So if you want to have a small TV in here, you could have one in there. That's where you'd hook everything up there. Is there. All these windows. This is just to block out some of the light. You can unsnap them. You have windows there. And then over here you got your vent. So you just push it open. If they haven't been open in a while, sometimes it could be a little finicky. Yep. There we go. So if you're running vehicles in and out of here often, you want to make sure these are open. So it's venting out some there. So there's one there, and then there is, that's the only one, yep. I believe that's the only one. There might be one over behind these chairs somewhere. We do have a fire extinguisher back here. You'll have another one up front. With these tow haulers, they're required to have one in the front, one in the back. So access to the bathroom from back here. Got your light switches. That one is a light. This one will do your fan. The fan will have to be turned on from up there. It looks like someone turned it off from up there. You can turn it on and off from here. Shower, very self-explanatory. Hot and cold. You can turn on or off your shower head from there. So if you want to momentarily shut off water, you can do that. This is your resettable GFI, so if any of the GFIs were to trip, this is where you reset it from. And then your toilet, super simple. Flush it from here. As long as you're pushing this pedal down, it's just going to keep flushing. Come on in through here. Another GFCI outlet there. You have controls for your thermostat. We'll go through a quick. First mode will ask you is auto, high or low. Definitely recommend leaving it on auto. Auto is going to allow whether you're running your furnace or your AC to cycle on and off, which is really good for your AC because if it's 90 degrees outside and it's super humid and you just have it running on high, it won't ever shut off, and then eventually it'll freeze, and then it'll shut itself off, and then you'd have to wait for it to thaw to rerun it again. So auto is going to allow it to cycle on and off at whatever temperature you have it set at. So AC goes to 55, furnace goes to 90. So you just tap through these to go through the modes. Little tip, if you accidentally hit up and down at the same time, let's see if it switches to Celsius, so just hit up and down again to go back to Fahrenheit. There we go. That's that battery disconnect I was talking about right there. You can read whether it's on or off from there. So right now it's off. Now it's on. Breaker box and your fuses. So it's got all your breakers for your, let's see if we can. There we go. All your breakers for your 110 volt appliances. All your fuses for your 12 volt. Definitely recommend having a box of spare fuses with you. Fridge, super simple. There's one button. On or off. So when it's on, it defaults to 110. If you're ever to lose power at the campground or something were to happen, this will switch to running off of propane automatically. Now, unlike your normal fridge at home, these two take about 10 to 12 hours to get to their operating temperature. There's that range hood I was telling you about. If you are going to run it, make sure that flap is open on the outside, and then you have do have a light on it. Folding cooktop. This will act as your backsplash. And then you just turn it to light. Spark it. It won't light because we have the gas turned off, but you just turn it to there. And just turn your sparker to light it. Then you just have a microwave underneath. That is a it's a convection as well, because this does not have an oven in it. So you got your racks to use for your convection, and that's your convection button. Now your microwave and convection, this is only going to work when you're plugged in. Moving along. Your monitoring panel. So you can do your gray, fresh. See, it shows up little lights there. Battery. Battery's always going to read full when you're plugged in. Fresh, that's good. So when you're filling your fresh tank, you can come in here and monitor how full it is, so you don't over pressurize your fresh tank. If you are going to pull from your fresh tank, turn your pump on or off from here. Water heater, if you turn it on from here, it's going to turn it on gas. Controls for your awning. So retract's going to retract it. And like I said, it doesn't automatically stop when you extend it. In fact, if you just keep holding extend, eventually it'll roll in, but it'll wrap the fabric the wrong way around the tube. Then you have your controls for your slide room, right there. And then lights. This will be your awning light. You have some blue LED lights underneath the table, and then your main lights in here. Propane gas alarm. It's a carbon monoxide alarm as well. It's hardwired to the 12-volt system, so there's no batteries you have to worry about changing. However, if your onboard battery starts to die, this will give chirps, like a low voltage chirps, telling you maybe plug it in or throw a new 12-volt battery in up front. Side out, not a whole heck of a lot. Do have a switch for your lights there, as well as 2 USB ports. This does turn into a bed. You just pop the table out, pop them legs out, rest on these shelves right here, then you just rearrange your cushions to create a platform, as well as having storage underneath it. Radio, super simple. So you got different zones. Zone 1 is inside, Zone 2 is outside. So if you turn Zone 1 off, it'll display outside. If you turn Zone 2 off and Zone 1 on, it'll display inside. You can have them both off, you can have them both on. Presets, the 1 through 6, push and hold to save preset, and then you have play, pause, all your stuff for DVD player mode, and then skip through channels, Bluetooth, cycle through modes, an auxiliary, headphone, and USB. And this is your volume knob. Your remote for your radio, as well as your remote for your TV. Very simple. And then you plug it in here. That is connecting. This is connected to your radio. This down here. So you have your radio. You can pop a DVD in there. Turn your TV to the AV channel, which is usually the second one after on the list. And then you could pop a standard DVD, it's not an HDMI DVD player in there, and you can watch DVDs through here. And I do believe it will pipe the sound from the movie or whatever you're watching into the speakers. But there, smoke alarm. These use your standard 9-volt battery, so if that starts giving you low voltage chirp, it's time to replace those batteries. And then right here, so if you're hooked to here, you're running your cable and antenna. If you're hooked to there, you're through satellite. And then if you are using your antenna, make sure this little light is on. That's your booster for your antenna. If it's off, that's when you're running cable. Then you have another GFCI. That's power for your TV. And another GFCI over there. Coming into the bedroom, not a whole heck of a lot. GFCI outlets on both sides. That's your light switch over there. Then you do have clicking lights above your bed on each side. And then your bed does lift up for storage, and that's the same storage as up front. And this is your light switch for in here. Right there. Unless you get a generator installed in here, you ignore this. This would be your start and stop for a generator to get one installed. Well, that concludes your video tour of your XLR boost. One last look around.